Hi everybody and welcome. Today we're going to be going over some examples of factoring. So your goal after watching this video today will be able to factor, we'll say multiple different types of examples with a leading coefficient or an a value of 1. So all that means is that our first term is just x squared or 1x squared. So these are the types of examples that if we see an x squared as our first term and we see a constant, so a number without any variables as our last term, we can use the box method to factor. And basically what this does is it allows us to get into a more simplified form or eventually able to solve. And the idea for this is it's going to look something like this. We'll convert it into like x plus something times x plus something. And again, if you remember the box method, factoring any of those types of things, if you multiply these two things together, either using FOIL again or the box method, so multiply each of these terms together, you'll basically get the answer that's on this side. So they go back and forth, but today we're going to be focusing on practicing going from the left side to the right side. All right, so first things first, draw a box. Next, your first term always goes in the first box. After that, your last term always goes in the last box. So this is a step that just requires the repetition. It does not require a whole lot of thought there, to be totally honest. So again, first in the first box, last in the last box. After you do this, it's your job to take that last term, that last box, keep its sign with it, so the positive sign, and then list out everything that when you multiply gets you 16. So literally everything that's a whole number. 16 times 1, 8 times 2, 4 times 4, and it might take you a minute. You might not get it on the first try, but again, stick with it until you have all those things written down. Now, the reason why we took this sign with us is because that's going to be our next step. So 16 times 1, we know that equals 16, but we're going to carry this green sign down, the plus, and you'll see why in just a moment. This is a trick, and it always works, guarantee it. 16 plus 1 is 17, 8 plus 2 is 10, and 4 plus 4 is 8. When we do this, what we're looking for is a match. We need to match our center term with our result, in this case, 10. So what we do here is we can fill in the edges of our box. We know that x and x go here. That's the only thing we can multiply to get x squared. But now we know that we use the numbers 8 and 2 to fill in the edges of our box. So if we do this, 8 times x is 8x, x times 2 is 2x. If you look, combine like terms, you add to get 10, and you multiply to get positive 16. So we effectively used our box method to determine what goes on the edges of our box and what goes in our parentheses here when we are multiplying. So this is our factored form.